We are live. Now live. Now live.
Oh, okay, we are now.
Yeah, we're now.
Welcome
We're live now.
everyone to another Facebook Live with Oh, okay, we're live now. Welcome everyone to another Facebook Live with Dr. Nelva Bryant. I am Greta Russo, and this, of course, is Dr. Bryant. Dr. Bryant, please introduce yourself to
Hello.
everyone.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining in today. I'm Dr. Bryant, Nelva Bryant. I'm a veterinarian, and I work within the airline industry. I work with Delta Airlines, and I've been with them quite a few years now, and brought on staff to help review and revise the policies of for animal transportation. Always good saying why is that necessary? Because you want to ensure animals get to their destination safely, and believe it or not, the animal transportation is highly regulated, especially if they're going by cargo. Being transported by cargo. There's also regulations for say dogs coming into the country with CDC. There's CDC's dog importation regulatory requirements that are very stringent. So as an airline, we have to be abreast of all these regulations to ensure that we can transport them in compliance with these regulations. So that's why I was brought on staff, and I love that role and been doing it for, like I said, quite a few years now. Since 2018, started on staff with them. Since that time, though, I developed When Pets Fly as a forum to share some of the things that I've seen. Basically, it's a forum to share pet-centered travel education, which I felt was needed. There's a lot of information that's out there regarding the transport. Well, there's a lot of information actually that's lacking out there regarding the transportation of pets going by air, it's in cabin or cargo. And my goal is to share this information with you on my platform, When Pets Fly. I started this during the pandemic, so I have a website at www.winpets.com, social media presence with Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We also have a YouTube page. So we've been growing significantly these past few years. Greta joined me a couple years back, and we added in having these Facebook Lives. And these were our opportunity. Really, initially, we thought we were just going to share pet-centered travel education, just that along with more pet owners. But we've expanded it beyond that, because really this forum is not just for pet owners. This is for veterinarians, people in the veterinary industry, the pet industry, airline industry as well, and the other animal transportation industries that all be really included in a lot of things we do. A lot of our guests that we have on here are, as I call, different stakeholders in the animal transportation industries, and they have different things that they relate for preparing animals for transportation. And today is not going to be any different. We'll have someone here discussing another important feature as far as comfort for animals during air travel. This actually animal welfare regulatory requirement for pets. So we're going to discuss all that today. But I know I'm saying a lot. I'm probably talking really fast, so forgive me. But Greta, please introduce yourself as well.
Sure. My name's Greta Russo, and I helped along Dr. Bryant in helping to make sure we get all this incredible information out to every last one of you, because all of it is important. You would not even think that something as simple as a cuddle mat would be an important conversation, but like you pointed out, it's a FDA regulation. So we try to make sure that we bring in people who can be a voice, be a face to the different things that you need to know about, so that your pet travels comfortably and is healthy during their trip. So that's why I'm here. So Dr. Bryant, the weather has been so crazy this summer. Besides extreme heat, I think this is probably one of the hottest summers, to be honest with you. Like, I was just in San Francisco, and I was in the airport, and they were like, "Oh, we have to hurry, make sure the plane gets off in time because there's a tsunami coming in." And I was like, "Wait a minute, there's a tsunami coming into San Francisco?"
Right.
So, but we have to be careful all the time and be diligent. And it's not just for us; it's for our pets. And I was thinking, if it was something really bad, it wasn't the typical tsunami you think of. It was like the remnants off of an earthquake that happened in Russia. So we had some, water coming our way from it. But I was like, oh my God, if I was in that moment, I didn't know what to do with myself, let alone what if I had a cat or a dog with me. So it really just made me think how important a show like ours is by just getting information out there, even if it's just like random, it seems like. It's important to know that, oh, I heard this on When Pets Fly, I know what to do. So I'm glad that we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, we've had, I'm sure actually we've had folks talk about, Dr. Mader was talking about emergency preparedness and with pets. We've had others. I think did Michelle talk about it with zoo animals and stuff, or at least in the future we'll have some discussion like that. But emergency preparedness, being prepared. I mean, again, if you're in an environment where you have a lot of, say, natural disasters, of course, you're always prepared. But for us who don't live close to water, don't live, all these places where you expect a natural disaster, that's the ones that are not prepared. And down again, the weather here in Atlanta, we had last month, we had times where it rained so much it was flooding in certain areas downtown, in areas that's unexpected. So it's a feature, and the stuff that we share here, and again, we share that, and we just share a lot of things. You might wonder, why is that related to pet travel? And well, maybe some of it does relate, and maybe some of it doesn't. Either way, we're sharing information on the platform, and I think I'm really happy to be able to do that. So I'm glad we're doing what we're doing. But again, as we said for today, the Cuddle Mat, just really making sure animals are comfortable during air travel is extremely important. It's really a part of USDA's Animal Welfare Act regulations as far as comfort during transport, and that's with the size of the crate, and again, having the proper bedding and making sure they're comfortable during transport. You'd be amazed. I've seen people ship their pets in a crate with nothing. It was like, wow, guys, I thought you say you love your pet, but goodness, you can even make sure they were comfortable. And I don't think it was a obvious or intentional oversight. It's just sometimes people are not even thinking, and they're moving and not aware. But they need to be aware that all of these things, little features, are a part of their safety and comfort during transport.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not comfortable to lay on the bottom of a crate, whether it's plastic or metal. You got to have something. So, but yeah, you just don't realize why. You got to wonder, why is this a regulation? And it's like, oh, okay. When they explain it, then it makes more sense. And I think that's the good thing about our platform, is that, it's not, everyone doesn't have to ask why. We at least will give you an explanation to why you have to do that, or why you should look out for that. So I'm excited to have Heather, because the Purple Pebble was on here last year. So she's a returning guest, and she has a high quality product that definitely needs to be shared more than once.
Yes, definitely.
One of the things I wanted to share. Did you want to say something?
No, ma'am. I was going to say, was there anything else you wanted to discuss? Yeah.
I read your mind again. Most people today, they get their news off of social media, and I have to admit, I do the same. So I just got this morning, and it said dogs will be allowed in Virgin cabins by the end of 2025. So, Virgin, who has the airlines, and they also have their own cruise line.
Yes.
So Virgin is now getting into, they're throwing their hat in the ring, because remember, there was another cruise that had the big announcement that they were having the dog cruise, and that was a whole thing. And I think a lot of people really tried to sign up for that, but it got sold out quickly. So now Virgin Cruise Line, be more specific, it's Virgin Australia is officially letting pets into the cabin with flight travel for small cats and, oh, I lost my thing, and dogs launching by the end of 2025. After a year-long delay, the airline received regulatory clearance, but pets must remain in airline-approved carriers under 8 kilograms and stowed under the seat with designated rows reserved for traveling pet owners. Virgin says demand has been strong, with Sydney, Melbourne tipped as the first route to roll out. So I wanted to bring that up so that you could quickly explain to everyone what exactly is going on here as far as regulations.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm a bit confused because Virgin has the airline and Virgin also has the cruise line. And when you say
Right.
you say cabin. Are you talking? And I'm sorry, I'm just want to be clear. When you say cabin, you mean as airline in cabin, or are you talking about a cruise, my cabin, my room, and my cruise? Which one? Make sure I'm clear.
I have to apologize because I was confused at first, and I shifted. So it is not the cruise line; it is the airline. So now, as I read into that, I was like, "Oh, this is the airline." So yes, Virgin Airlines is allowing pets.
I was getting excited. I was like, man, look, to be honest with you, I like cruises. I haven't been on a cruise in a couple years, but the one I do want to go on is with Virgin because it's supposed to be adult only. But I was just like, oh man, more reason to go on a Virgin cruise. But okay, I'm sorry. I was on a different tangent there. But so
and I snatched it away from you.
Yeah. So you're saying
No,
that
Virgin Airlines.
As far as the airline, they're going to allow pets going in cabin. Are they going to restrict the numbers, or how are they going to do with that?
They didn't say all of that in the post, but they did mention. They mentioned that the pets must be in airline approved carriers, which we know how that goes, and they must be 8 kilograms. So this is out of Australia, but what does that mean as far as pounds? Do you know?
What 1 pound equals?
They probably have to be,
1 kilogram equals 2.2 pounds. So let's do the math. Say around 16. I'll just say on average 16-pound dog or cat. That's a good sized cat. That's a heavy.
Okay.
Dog. That's your Yorkie, Shih Tzu, multi-poo or something small, kind of thing like that. But so in a sense, as long as they can fit in a carrier, the soft-sided carrier, very likely underneath the seat in front of them. Okay. That's good.
Yep. Under the seat with designated rows reserved for traveling with pet owners. So I'm assuming if it's only certain rows, they're not allowing like 20 cats or dogs coming on. It's probably like a handful, like maybe 5 at the most.
You know what? We had a brief discussion offline about this. Remember, we were talking about people always wonder are there restrictions in reference to the number of pets in cabin? And for those traveling, I'll just as a reminder for folks traveling with a pet, you should always, if you're planning on going in cabin with your pet, traveling with you, and again, that's as long as your pet meets the requirements of being allowed in cabin in the soft-sided carrier. I'm not talking about service dogs at all. I'm just talking about those that are traveling with a pet. Just be aware that you can't just assume airlines are pet friendly and that my pet can come with me and there's no stipulations behind it. There's usually a fee for that. And then also it's a first come, first served basis. They limit the number of pets that are in cabin. And Greta and I were talking about why, and I'll be honest with you guys. I'm in love with I tell Greta, GPT chat has its good perks and some negative things where you can find information that's probably not valid. So you must check things too. I'll agree to that. But sometimes it does answer some questions for you. And I put in the chat, I was asking, why are there restrictions on the number of pets in cabin? And they're saying basically there's FAA, the Federal Aviation Association. They have requirements in reference to that. As far as the number of pets, you have to consider the safety of everyone on board. You have to consider also, which we don't think about often, and I don't want to think about it, but we have to think about if there is an emergency on that aircraft, something happens, the evacuation. If you have a aircraft full of pets as years before that were not restricted, say emotional support all over the place. Can you imagine the devastation that could happen in an emergency when you have pets that are not contained in their soft-sided carrier? Can you just imagine how hard it would be for, you know, everyone is stressed, and you're stressed. Do you think you can all of a sudden grab your pet and think he'll be perfectly fine if he's sitting next to you or sitting outside here? So it may seem like, oh, they're being mean. Why are they being mean? There's reasons behind everything, every policy within the airline they're doing. It's you know, in the cabin, it's, you know, safety of everyone on board. So you have to realize all those considerations that have to go into place. So that's probably mostly that is why they restrict the numbers that are in cabin and everything. So if they have this with Virgin, where they say there'll be certain rows, sounds like they're going to probably allow maybe a good number of pets in there, but they're going to be at a certain location. But I bet you there will still be some stipulations that they have to be inside their carriers, because again, God forbid something happens and we have to evacuate quickly. You need to have them contained and safe and near you so you can get off quickly with them. Imagine your carrier dog goes run one way and you're the other and you're trying to get it. Imagine the chaos. So again, just have to consider the rules and regulations behind it are for everyone's safety on board. So, and you have to respect that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's bring our guest on today from Purple Pebble, and we will get this show started.
Hello, Heather.
Hi, so happy to
Hi,
be here.
Heather.
Thank you so much.
Good.
Pleasure.
Very happy. Happy to have you back
Oh,
again.
welcome. Welcome.
Yeah.
So do you want me to just start right in, or did you want to ask me in?
Well, let's see.
No,
what we do,
I'm going to read your bio. No, we're going to read your bio, and then we'll go right into it. And I'll bring up the questions.
Thank you.
We're good.
Okay. So Heather Grohl Duvall is the owner and founder of Purple Pebble, a company dedicated to creating premium US-made products that support happy, healthy animal lifestyles. Since launching in 2003, Heather has grown Purple Pebble with a passion from comfort, safety, wellness, and pet parent peace of mind. Each product is intentionally simple, thoughtfully designed, and handcrafted using the highest quality materials. Their flagship product, the Purple Pebble Cuddle Mat, is loved by pets, as well as pet parents, and trusted by pet care professionals and facilities nationwide. Unmatched in comfort as well as safety, the Purple Pebble Cuddle Mat is ideal for use in crates and care an animal, where an animal may need to stay for many hours, especially during pet travel. Heather's mission is to support pets and their people who care for them with comfort and safety they can count on. So everyone, if you could please help us welcome Heather Grohl Duvall.
Great having you back again, Heather.
Thank you. Such a pleasure. Such a pleasure to have this platform with you wonderful women. Oh, and my dogs are saying hello right on cue.
That's perfect. Perfect.
I had them set up to be quiet with their bones, and somebody must be at the door. Okay.
Well, see, that you know, I missed that because I don't have my Naya's gone. I don't get that warnings anymore. Barks. My other dog does not bark at all. He's a weirdo. But it's good to have that. It lets you know what's going on. So good.
It's my own security system.
Yeah.
I don't even need to lock the door. God bless you if you want to come in with that. But they're both sweethearts.
That's good. That's good.
I want to talk about the Cuddle Mat first in general, very briefly, and then, you know, split off into why it's ideal for pet travel. I feel that a lot of people out there want the best for their dogs. They want them to look chic. They want them to have adorable toys, clothes, fashion, but sometimes, and bedding, but they fall short in really thinking through how comfortable, safe, hygienic, the environment truly is for the dog, especially if they're going to be in a crate where they can't decide to get up and leave or move to a different location. The safety, the support, the hygiene, in so many different facets of each one of those categories is critical. I deal with pet boarding facilities all day, every day, and they keep coming back for more of my products because it's like an insurance policy for them. It's something they can truly count on to keep the animals in their care safe, well, happy, and comfortable. And at the end of the day, I hope that that's what everyone here wants, whether you be in a veterinary office or a pet boarding or daycare facility or are a pet parent. There is so much more to high-end products than how they look and their fashion, and that's why we exist.
That's good. Can I add one thing? One thing I've noticed as a veterinarian, you can tell an obvious sign on a pet, and I'm talking more for dogs, an obvious sign that they're lying on something that's not best for them is you see these bald spots on those elbows and calluses right there. That is your number one indicator that they're not lying on a surface that's really comfortable for them, because they're showing wear and tear right on those elbows and everything.
Yeah.
Like that. You always see, that's a common indicator to me when I see a dog and I see that, and I'm like, yeah, whatever it's lying on repeatedly, it's not a safe and soft environment for them, and it's showing.
And I don't blame people. We were starting to talk about this before we came on live, but you can't blame someone for what they don't know. But what I do blame people for is when they're not open to listening about a better solution. And our solution is not high tech. It is not about gizmos, gadgets, or bling. It is about true, thoughtful design for the simple comfort, safety, and wellness of the animals. And that's why we exist. So we actually, unlike many companies, are not as innovative, let's say, as others. We're not coming out with new colors and new styles every season, because what we have is a gem just as it is, as simple as it is. And what it is specifically is a double-sided synthetic lamb's wool. I call it a mat on steroids, because when we think of a mat, we think of a bath mat or a typical crate mat that's one-sided Berber fleece and is really nothing more than a liner or a covering. This is a, no pun intended, completely different animal. It's almost a couple of inches thick, and there is, and I repeat, is no stuffing. And people get scared when they hear that. They think, well, how comfortable could that possibly be? Well, actually, let me just pull up real quick this photo, if I can. Oh, Greta, you may need to help me. Can you approve my photo?
Okay, not a problem.
But
I can. Hold on 1 second.
So here's a close-up. We can see the thickness of this product. Show you another one real quick. Actually, can you do the one with the chocolate lab close-up?
Yep.
That's how comfortable it is.
Very comfortable.
That is not a Berber fleece standard crate mat. This is a true specialty product that was designed, as I said before, I just keep repeating myself, but I can't say it enough, for the comfort, safety, and well-being of the animals. And you can have your dog on this for many hours, whether it be in a crate while you're at work, or certainly in flight, or in the back of an SUV, or in any type of travel situation. And I'm speaking to the pet travel companies that do transport in vehicles across the country. So it's not just air travel. But when an animal has to be, on their joints for hours on end, you don't want something flimsy. You also don't want a safety hazard. So here's another. Actually, you want to show the golden in the crate laying down, Greta?
Sure. Yep.
Nice.
So you can just see You can even take this product and have it go up the sides because, Dr. Bryant, you were talking about the wear and tear on the elbows. There's also something, as I'm sure you're aware, as the crate sores, where they're leaning up against the bars, which isn't wonderful either. This can be used without any attachments. I know that people sometimes think, oh, I need a bolster bed to keep them feeling secure or keep them from being resting on the bars. But the bolsters, not only are they not safe, because of the fact that they do have stuffing. And if an animal is in a crate or enclosure for a period of time, especially in certain travel situations, they may get anxious. I would say probably most, if not all, pets are anxious in travel situations, especially in flight. And you absolutely can't have the possibility of ingesting pieces. So with our product, not only is it a veterinarian approved product, but there is no possibility of ingesting stuffing because there is no stuffing. And I wanted to show you the close-up of the product because even without the stuffing, because of the density and the pile of the material that we use, which is truly a specialty material, there's only 2 mills in this country that manufacture it. We stitch it so the dogs can't get at the stitching. The stitching is invisible to them. And you've got yourself something that is going to protect their joints and keep them safe and comfortable. And again, no attachments. Like there's other options. People consider the bolster beds not a good option because it takes away from the space the animal has in the enclosure or crate or carrier. And of course, the stuffing is not safe. So we've nixed that. Then the other option, sometimes people want to consider something that has sides and they can be attached with Velcro or snaps or ties. Again, keep it simple. We don't want attachments, something that can be chewed off and ingested. Not a good option. So we've eliminated that possibility. Very, very important is the moisture wicking, and our material has that, and there's 4 different wonderful benefits to being a moisture wicking material. The first of which is that it inhibits the formation of bacteria. If you're going to put a dog on any type of comforter, towel, blanket, that will absorb moisture, and the moisture sitting there will create bacteria. Moisture wicking eliminates that. So when especially they can't get up and move away to another place, they're locked in, they're sitting in wet, they're not comfortable, but also the bacterial formation is not good. Back to the comfort level of a blanket, a towel, a comforter, which is what a lot of people run to because it's easy. And I just want to say, actually, just a little commentary here. Easy is not always best. Easy is not always right. It is not always ethical. Easy is simply easy. But we have easy and right and ethical and safe and comfortable. And when this dog has an accident, the moisture, the liquid will pass through and wick away on top, keeping them completely dry, hygienic, comfortable, and irritation free. Can you imagine being in an enclosure where you couldn't move and you have wet your bedding and you have no choice but to sit in it until you've developed now an irritation from it and you're trapped? I mean, I don't mean to be negative, but this is the reality. This is the real deal. This is what these animals are faced with, unless you have a moisture wicking option. Newspaper, absolutely no better.
Yep.
They're sitting in wet. The irritation possibility is prevalent and very probable.
Definitely. Heather, just want to add in here because we were talking a little bit before this session. We were talking about, again, USDA's Animal Welfare Act regulations, a requirement for them to have absorbable bedding, I believe is what they call it. And again, this was regulations that was written back in 1966. And I guess they just wanted something that would absorb things. And again, this is 66 before they thought about all these different things. So this is definitely, you want it to wick away from their body. You don't want them to be sitting up within it and everything. So I think this hits it and it meets the requirements. But as I mentioned earlier too, you'd be amazed. Some people, as far as just a thought, what people will use, in situations, and I've seen it, especially I remember when I got one of my years ago, got a puppy. You know what they used for the bedding inside the container that I received the dog?
What?
It was newspaper shreds.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Easy, right?
Right.
Is that the best thing for it? But again, regulations didn't really define what's best, because newspaper does absorb
Right.
moisture, but
Right.
is it the best thing for the animal and everything? So, and what we're talking about here with the Cuddle Mat is the best thing for your animal during any transport or just inside, if they have to be confined, and something comfortable for them to be in. Something like this is best. Hey, I want to stop for a quick second, too, guys. Greta, if you can see, we've got some questions here, and I just didn't want to wait till the end before we started these and stuff, so we can have a good conversation going.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just looking at them right now.
Yeah.
So we actually have, they're all from the same person. So Dr. Sutton Hossein, she is asking, what is the solution of elbow scar tissue? That's the first question.
Good question, doctor. I don't know if there's a true solution for it. At that point, when they lose hair like that, they've actually damaged the hair follicles. So I don't think anything really can be done. My recommendation, though, is to prevent it, or if you see it happening, again, it's a sign that whatever your pet is laying on is not giving enough cushion for them, and they're damaging their hair follicles in those areas, and that's why it's bald and scar tissue and everything form. And I didn't realize that you're saying, Heather, that even being in there, as far as saying a crate is too small, they're getting also sores in other parts of their body in reference to rubbing against the side of the crate. I didn't realize that, but I've definitely, like I said, seen the instances on the elbows, and that's usually my prime indicator. But Doc, I don't know exactly what you can do once the scar tissue develops and the hair loss happens. But again, it's an indicator that they need more comfortable bedding where they're lying at.
So I'm wondering if putting a salve on there, like that you would put on your paws to soften them up, I'm wondering if that'll work as well, as a question.
It might, all I can say is it might soften an area. True enough, it probably will soothe the area a little bit, but to say it cause regrowth of hair follicles, I can't guarantee that. I would imagine if the hair follicle is dead, it's gone.
Can I jump in for just a second on this?
Mm-hmm.
When that hair is no longer there and they have absolutely no protection whatsoever, it's even more important at that point to give them the protection from the hard surface that they need, because they've already worn through. So it would only be right and just to provide the most gentle and protective bedding that you can find, and we do pride ourselves on that. So any animal, even recovering from surgery or with special needs such as this, it would be a real good decision to look for a Cuddle Mat.
Yeah, you think about those situations.
There was a question.
You think about situations where pets are arthritic, or
absolutely,
they're arthritic or anything like that. This would be a great thing for them to be more comfortable to lie on. But yeah, go ahead, Greta. Sorry.
Absolutely. No. There's another question directly for Heather. When temperatures are more than 35 degrees Celsius, is it possible to use this material? I don't know what 35 degrees Celsius is. So,
yeah.
I know there's.
We're Fahrenheit.
I know there is. There's an app for that. Hold on.
It's hot. It's hot.
I will say, and I don't know right off, I see Greta's looking this up, but I will say this is an all seasons product. And unlike any other, or many, I should say, many other bedding options, this will not heat up. So you can use it effectively outside, by the pool, on the patio, what have you. And it's not going to, like many other bedding options, it's not going to heat with the heat. It will stay a consistent temperature.
Well, that's good to know.
For our conversation, 35 degrees Celsius equals 95 degrees Fahrenheit. So I guess, I guess she was asking, would this make, your dog hot in hot weather?
I think everybody recognizes that when temperatures start to really climb up into those numbers, dogs are going to look for the coolest possible, like floor, cement, and they don't really care much about anything else at that point. So, is this as cool as maybe? Well, I don't know. Cement can really heat up too, but frequently they'll eliminate bedding at that moment and take a break and just go to a hard cool surface just for the coolness of it. But if you're looking for a bedding that is less likely to be a problem, if they are going to be on a bed, this would be the option because it doesn't heat up. But even my dogs, and we've got cuddle mats all over my house and they do absolutely love them. If it's 95 degrees, they're looking for a hardwood floor.
Yeah. So Heather, let me ask you, they have I would say cuddle mats. They have cooling mats out today, which by the way, I have to buy one for my own bed. But anyway, can you take a cooling mat and put it in between or a cuddle mat so that the coolness can come through? Is that something that would happen?
That's a cool idea. That's a cool idea. I mean, I think that our material is superior, but if you have something cooling underneath, that would add extra cooling. Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, I think would help her.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying that would probably help this doctor in her situation, but still the dog can remain on top of something that's so comfortable because the cooling mat is just just a regular cloth, and I'm assuming like cooling something like gels underneath, so it doesn't have that comfort. But so I was thinking it could probably fit very nicely in between your cuddle mat. And then the dog or cat would still be comfortable in what it's lying on.
I think it's a cool idea. But the only thing that does worry me a little bit, and you would just have to do this on an individual basis, knowing the animal. If an animal is a chewer, I would be very wary to use a bed that had, gels that cannot be ingested. And chances are, from what I've seen out there, and I'm not that familiar really at all with, I've heard of that product. I don't really know it intimately, but if the covering over these gels is not really, I mean, even that, I mean, it would have to be super durable and safe, because if the animal gets in, God help us all, So, yeah, if there's an animal that's not, where chewing is not an issue, I think it sounds like a pretty neat idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Dr. Hossein had one more question. And it seems like it was a continuation, but, and it says, wet skin can transfer some bacterial infection. Let me start with the question before. The question before was, when temperatures are more than, yes.
No, good. I think he was talking about, remember, Heather had mentioned the fact that antibacterial, that bacteria can grow as far as certain materials that absorb the so-called absorb the wetness, and then bacteria can grow. And the cuddle mat kind of doesn't allow, number one, it's antibacterial, and it doesn't allow, it keeps the moisture away from the animal. So I guess the comment was adding on to that, saying that wet skin can also transfer some bacterial infections. So, but potentially, yeah.
So I just
go ahead.
I was going to ask just to clarify on Heather, your point of that. So let's say this dog has an accident, and I understand you're saying, so when I'm thinking of wicking, I'm thinking that it will push it away, but you're saying it'll pull it through so that the dog will stay dry. But if it's pulling it through, is it settling in the bottom of the crate?
Yes, it is. But that is what you want to have happen. And because of the thickness of this material, it's going to stay put. And most importantly, it doesn't matter what happens to the liquid. I mean, it's going to be held in there. It's not going to be roaming all around as if you had nothing in there. I mean, there's a substantial mat and dog on top, but it's double-sided and has a lot of heft and separation. So the dog, think of like a diaper. I mean, it's going to keep the dog from experiencing the wet on their skin and the irritation that usually forms after that. So yeah, it will be underneath, but that's exactly what we want.
You don't need to put something underneath like newspaper so that it can go into that, right?
No. I mean, I guess you could, although honestly, I like to keep everything as pure as possible. And actually I wanted to talk a little bit about the material as well, but yeah, as little chance for ingesting pieces of anything, whether they be attachments to the crate or stuffing in the bedding or newspapers underneath. I think I would just leave well enough alone and keep just the mat in there. I don't really think there's a need for the newspaper, to be honest.
Okay. Well, why don't you, I thought you went into what it was made of, but please, you brought it up. Tell us what the mat is made from.
Yeah, and actually, I know I was concerned. I was very nervous before coming on here. It's funny though how passion will really fuel.
Yeah.
If you couldn't tell, I'm very passionate about what I do. I've been doing this for 22 years, and it's such a great feeling. The only thing that feels better than knowing you've got a product that is really needed out there and actually not very widely used even still after 22 years of my doing this. The only thing better is really getting on a soapbox and telling the world about it to help spread the word as to what's available, because I think a lot of the choices people make, many are very well intentioned, but they don't recognize where the options they're using are falling short. And it is my pleasure to present a better option. So anyway, so what I was starting to say is that I have actually all of a sudden this fuel to discuss all of the benefits, the many benefits of this product, and I don't need as many prompts as I thought I might. But the material, okay, as much as I support environmental health, I am a very big proponent of recycling and the environment. When you talk about what you want against an animal's skin, if you're in a veterinary environment, certainly, if you're whelping puppies, certainly, if you've got a dog recovering from surgery, a dog that has skin sensitivities, or any dog for that matter, this is what is against their skin. I don't think that that is the right application for using recycled materials. I use recycled things all day. I have so many different recycled things in my house, and but this I feel should be a virgin material because it is controlled. It is a controlled substance. You know what it is. It's naturally hypoallergenic. It is a polyester, which no animals are harmed in the making of the product. It's actually more durable than a true lamb's wool. And it is naturally hypoallergenic, unless you happen to be allergic to polyester, I think. But basically, we say it is hypoallergenic. This material, which is critical for people to understand, used to be used in human hospital burn units exclusively prior to the invention of disposables, because there is nothing so gentle on the skin. And it's so great that not only is it the most gentle material on the skin, but it's also incredibly durable at the same time, which is a really unique and special combination. So perfect for this application. Yeah, so I just wanted to make that point. We don't have fancy colors because it doesn't take the dye. We don't want the dye. We want purity. And that's what we've got here. The no stuffing, not only is it about safety, but even about the comfort, where you might have a gorgeous bed and it's stuffed and you've washed it once. And what we find is the stuffing balls up on one side and the animal is on a very attractive cover doing nothing for the animal. So I love the fact that this is a consistent cushion. that you can rely on to protect the joints, protect the elbows. If you've got an elderly or arthritic dog, especially, you don't want stuffing because it becomes really a nuisance and stressful on their joints to climb in and out. So this is perfect for that application as well. What else did I want to say? The moisture wicking. So it is stain resistant. So for travel, again, if the animal has an accident, people get very afraid that it is a light color, but it washes up beautifully, which is also why my pet boarding facility customers love it, because they can wash it over and over and over, and it comes out fantastic every time. It doesn't disintegrate in the wash. The only one thing I'll just mention quickly that will cause the death of this product is high heat in the wash and dryer. It does not need it. It does not need you to kill the bacteria because the bacteria is not forming. It's almost dry by the end of the wash cycle on tumble dry low, or it can be air dried. Very easy, very quick, and will not stain. So that's something that people should know, be aware of as well. So what did I cover? The moisture wicking, the way dogs destroy anything, especially blankets, towels, comforters, they saliva them down to make them pliable enough to rip. When you have a moisture wicking material, especially a really dense high pile one and double-sided, it's not impossible because there's animals, as we all know, that can chew through scrap metal and drywall, but it makes it really, really difficult to do that. So we feel very confident in the safety of the product for that reason. Yeah, so with the moisture wicking is really critical in those 4 areas. Yeah, we're excited to put it out there for the pet boarding people, for the pet travel, absolutely. And hopefully, I mean, it's become fairly ubiquitous in the pet boarding industry, but really I need to make inroads into pet travel and pet parents education on how to plan properly for pet travel. And certainly I'd like to get in there with somebody that makes guidelines on bedding for pet travel. Would love the opportunity to do that. But as I think everybody can see, this is a superior option to certainly the shredded newspaper,
Right.
and definitely even like people think, oh, comfy blanket, comfy towel, comfy comforter, it's bedding that people use. Yeah, but this is a completely different application. An animal is in a crate. They're going to most likely have an accident. It doesn't protect them. It doesn't give them the support that this Purple Pebble Cuddle Mat gives. It doesn't give them the moisture wicking, certainly not. And the safety factor, I mean, if they're anxious, and I think that's also one of the main things we strive for in any bedding, but in particular in pet travel, which is, Dr. Bryant, would you agree that pet travel can very frequently be a stressful situation for animals?
Yeah.
I think that we want as best we can, and I really don't believe that the inroads have been made in keeping a pet calm, not just by medicating them, which may be necessary in some cases, but just to make the environment as comfortable and stress-free as possible, to the best of our ability. And it really doesn't take much. It really doesn't. It's very easy to get a Purple Pebble Cuddle Mat. I have a website, which, if you don't mind, it's self-explanatory,
Absolutely.
but purplepebble.com.
Cool. Good. I love it.
I do have a thing.
There you go.
Go ahead, Dr. Bryant. I'm sorry.
I love that you mentioned that as far as pet travel and everything. This actually, I will highly recommend this, a cuddle mat for use when you're getting your pet acclimated to being confined in their travel crate. This is perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Because imagine, you think about this, when they're comfortable being on this, their scent is on it,
Yes.
It's comfortable for them. When they travel now, they travel on, say for instance, you're getting confined in a wire crate, but you're now going to transition them to another crate to travel. Put that bedding in there with it. Put the cuddle mat in there with it. It has the same scent, same comfort. that it
Yes.
provided when you were acclimating them, it's perfect for them. So it can be used in, like I said, use it for getting your pet acclimated for pet travel. And this is going to be for going by cargo or in cabin transport as well. So I think it has a great use.
And, oh, hello?
You there?
Oh,
Here.
you got
Oh, you're
frozen
still
for
there.
a second. I was like, "Whoa, did we just stop?" No, on that note, actually, I would love to also mention, because I always say this, pet boarding is very similar. It's similar to the pet travel industry in that they are confined frequently, not in the same type of way, sometimes in the same type of way, but it's really nice. I like to recommend that pet parents have a Purple Pebble Cuddle Mat at home. They can use it in a variety of ways and places. They're so easy and portable, and you can use them in a number of places in the home, outside of the home, in the car. And when they have a Purple Pebble Cuddle Mat in their regular everyday environment at home, and then they go into a pet travel or pet boarding situation and they have the same Purple Pebble Cuddle Mat, it's that level of comfort and consistency. It's not like, ooh, scary. Now I'm going into, which can, and pretty understandably, could be a scary situation, pet travel, but they have, it's almost like their blankie, but better. They have their personal thing from home that is actually serving so many healthful and hygienic, purposes, while giving them that consistent familiarity. There's the word I'm looking for, familiarity. They already have it. So it's not just their travel bed for their travel crate. It's their everywhere, always bed. And they are actually sufficient. I mean, I could have any bed that I want for my dogs. I use these instead of traditional pet beds around my home. They coordinate with any environment, by the way. I mean, they're very, they sort of camouflage, blend in with everything. I think it's a nice consistency, familiarity thing when you use these, not just in a pet travel situation.
That's perfect.
Heather, there was a question, let me pop it back up. How long does the cuddle mat last?
Oh, fantastic question. That question is wonderful because so many people are afraid to spend a little money because they say, oh, my dog's going to destroy it in seconds. Why would I spend anything? I'm just going to grab a little towel from over here, a little something from Costco where they want it to be disposable. And I'm sorry to hear that is the norm. This is a product that will, how should I put this correctly? It may outlast your dog. I have had dogs that have had cuddle mats from other dogs. They're extraordinarily long lasting, to the point where I always laugh with my boarding facility customers. After 22 years, I'm still hustling because just to drive the point home on how long they last. I have boarding facilities that board over 200 dogs a day. Last summer, I had 4 in a row that told me after 4 years, they love the product. They're still good. They don't need any more yet. I thought, are you kidding me?
That's great.
And this is a facility. The reason I'm bringing this up, I know we're not facilities mostly here. We're pet parents becoming educated. But I'm saying if a facility that boards 200 dogs a day of all temperaments, after 4 years, they're still intact. I mean, that says something. that says a lot. So yeah. They last a very long time, and no, I wouldn't say to expect them in a boarding facility environment to last 4 years like that. That was a little odd, but in an individual's home, they're the most durable soft bedding in the 22 years I've been doing this that I have come across. I do have people that say, they're not willing to experiment and what am I going to do? But if you have a dog that's prone to chewing and you do want to give them something, I would recommend you try one of these and keep your eyes open and see what happens. People are really surprised. There's dogs that can or could destroy this bedding and they choose not to. But if they start to chew, it's not like you're going to turn around and it's going to be like destroyed in seconds or confetti. Maybe they'll take a little piece off of a corner, which can pass through. It's not going to cause an obstruction like a blanket, towel, comforter, or a lot of cheap bedding out there. So when you spend a little bit more, I don't know why I'm getting this thing here. When you spend a little bit more for a product of, can you still see me?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Things are happening in my screen. A product of quality that is long lasting, you will be rewarded.
Yeah.
So with our last question, how can people get one?
Fantastic. So the best way is through my website. I do have an Etsy site as well. At purplepebble.com. Is really the best way. You can call me, but I feel that to put my website out there is the best, easiest way for everyone. They ship almost immediately, so pretty much anyone in this country will get it within a week.
Can you ship internationally?
We can ship internationally. Yes, we can. So I'm not sure what the shipping time on that is, but I just wanted to let people know that they do. We turn it around very quickly, and most of our customers are in this country, but we're definitely open to shipping overseas.
Fantastic.
Greta brought it up because
Dr. Bryant, is there any last things?
I was just going to add to what she was saying here. Greta brought that up as far as international because, believe it or not, we're seeing we have international viewers as well, or followers as well, which is awesome. So
yeah, that is awesome.
You might get someone from, I don't know, from India that might want one for their pet, and then again with the knowledge base of all the things it can do as far as comfort, helping pets that might have medical conditions to be more comfortable when they rest. Prevent those sores on the elbows and everything. So who knows?
I welcome all interested customers that want the best for their animal. Anybody, anywhere. Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. But as I mentioned earlier, I think this is a great thing, a tool that can be used during the acclimation process, getting your pet acclimated to being confined in their crate. Put a cuddle mat in there, let them get comfortable being with that. And again, if you happen to change the container or crate, or if you do, you can move the mat with them. If not, take the whole unit with you as you travel with your pet, and you'll know that they're comfortable doing transport.
And get a couple, get 2, get 3, have them in different areas in your house, have them in your car, and then have one in your crate, and maybe get another so that, when you are laundering it, you can, use something. But it is nice that that they launder so well and they dry so quickly so that there's not a lot of lag time to get it back into the crate.
I can attest to that because I have one, and I remember when you were asking me to test it, and I put to that thing, and I just was like I don't know what I did. I think I went in the kitchen and got jelly, and I got all these different things to put on it, and just to see if I could make a stain or make it difficult, and it washed out perfectly clean. So
yeah,
great thing. It was great.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Well, that's fantastic. I'm so glad we got to have you back and really share with our viewers how important having something so comfortable for the crate is. It's a federal regulation. And more importantly, it'll make crate training go so much easier. So your cuddle mat has so many fantastic benefits, and it doesn't make any sense not to have it, especially having multiple, between the car, the home, wherever you want to take it with you. You want to find out more about the Cuddle Mat and even Miss Heather, you want to go to purplepebble.com and follow them along on Instagram at purple_pebble. And this way you can keep up on everything that Heather and the company is doing. Heather, is there any last minute things you wanted to say before we get out of here?
I think I said more than I even anticipated saying. I could speak all day. I mean, animals are our babies. They are our compatriots. They deserve nothing but the best. in every area of their life. And if there's anything that you can do to make things less stressful and more safe and comfortable, I hope that everyone out there in this audience is willing to give it a try.
Fantastic.
I
Well,
am
that is,
yeah, I was gonna say I am very happy you're here with us, Heather. I'm
you,
hoping
Dr.
we
Bryant.
can continue our relationship.
Yes,
Definitely love to have you come back next year and share more about the Cuddle Mat and Purple Pebble, and just let's continue to grow together. So that's my goal.
I love that. Thank you so much.
fantastic. Well, I want to thank everyone for joining us today and learning all about this fantastic company and this wonderful woman, Heather. Make sure to reach out to her if you have any questions. But for now, we are going to say goodbye. And guess what? You get to see us every week because we have a jam-packed month of Facebook Lives. So we look forward to seeing you and sharing more great information and tips about traveling with your pet. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.
Talk soon. Thank you.
Thanks.
Let's see.